Hi guys, welcome back to Simply Watching TV. Tonight we are talking about Sex and the City Season 1, Episode 9, The Turtle and the Hare. So let's get right into it. The scene opens up talking about Bougie Brooke. I forgot her last name because I just gave her the nickname of Bougie Brooke Child. She had a $100,000 wedding and everybody was invited. And so she just gets the nickname Bougie Brooke. So it's one of their friends and she's having her wedding. And she usually dates like these super high profile dudes. So they were excited to see who was her husband, who did she settle down with, and another high profile dude, hence the $100,000 wedding. So they're at the wedding, they're at the reception, and society really hated singles. Like, what was tea? Like, they had two singles tables. Why is there a singles table? I mean, maybe it's from like the perspective of them mingling and meeting somebody, but again, like y'all just don't want people to be single and be okay with it. Why do we need to be forced to talk to people who are also single at a wedding in hopes of like hooking up? No. They also meet Turtle at the wedding. His real name is not Turtle. It's like his last name was like Turtleback or something like that. I don't know, but he's this guy. I think he's like an investment banker or something, but his breath is awful. And it's so bad that his breath gets there 10 minutes before he does. And he's in everybody's face. Why do people with bad breath always want to be in everybody's faces? I got one word for you. Banaka. Like, get out of here. Some gum, some tongue. No, not Tums. What's the little Listerine tongue things that you put? Get that because it's bad. So, of course, he's like smitten with Samantha. And it's like, no chance, bro. Like, your breath stinks. So at the end of the wedding, well, before the end of the wedding, they just got bored with it. Because honestly, again, it was like society hates singles, especially back during that time. And everything was just around like being married. None of the girls are married. So they're just like, okay, well, we're over it. There's no like super fine men here. So they all decide to leave. And Brooke gives girls advice individually as they leave. And her advice was crazy. Of course, she's like, Charlotte, whatever her husband's name is, has like all these single friends that you can meet. So like, don't even worry about it. She just tells Miranda, like, I'm so happy I decided to get married. And it's like, what? What are you telling me that for? I know you're happy that you got married because you look happy. So what are you telling me for? And then she tells Carrie it's much better to date somebody who likes you more than you like them. Ooh. Now that was shady, Miss Girl. Bougie Brooke, that was shade. Like, be in your marital bliss, don't be in my relationship, because that's insane. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about her and Big? Because we're all saying it about her and Big. So, but why did you say that? And of course, this leaves Carrie like stuck. Like, she's like, what? What are you talking about? So the next scene is Carrie calling Big at her apartment. So he's at his apartment, she's at her apartment, and she calls him. And they're having a conversation about marriage. And I know when Big said that he was never, ever, 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 ever getting married again, her heart, boom, skipped a beat. I know it stopped. I know it because I don't feel like that's all she's wanted, but it's just kind of like almost, I won't say it's the natural thing for everybody, but maybe it was for her. So it's just like when you hear that your man is just like, nope, I'm never getting married ever. It's like, what? So she kind of froze, and she even said, she was like, man, I had to concentrate on breathing because I'm like, what do you mean? And of course, this is probably like due to him, because again, Big has been married before, so it's probably due to him being married before, but still, it was like, okay. And then she gonna ask him, are you in the bed with somebody? Would he have picked up the phone if he was in the bed with somebody else? Like, be real, Carrie. Like, just be for real for 2 seconds. Why would he have picked up the phone if he was in the bed with somebody? So then this leaves her to wondering, could she date a guy who never wanted to get married? Not if you do. That doesn't make any sense, girl. You gonna have to figure something else out. Not if you do, because don't start compromising what you want for somebody else. That doesn't make any sense. And of course, at lunch, now they're talking about the rabbit. All I'm going to say is the rabbit in the 2000s is an equivalent to the rose of today. That's it. Were they in Spencer's? Remember Spencer's? We used to go in Spencer's and used to go in the back and used to play with the toys and used to read the books. Yeah, Spencer's. No, seriously, it looked exactly like Spencer's or Hot Topic. And they discovered a whole new world, if you know what I mean. Especially Charlotte. Oh my God. Like, that, honestly, they all were like, what? By the rabbit, but Charlotte. So Samantha goes on a date with one of the guys that she met at the wedding, and it's not Turtle, thank God. But he excused himself to go to the bathroom. Child, it's been like a minute since he's been in the bathroom. So she's like, in the words of Phaedra, unless he's having dysentery, this is not normal. So she goes to check on him. He is macking down a lady by the bathroom, like hand on the wall, leaning, like inches away from her face. You're on a date. What are you doing? So of course she feels disrespected, and she's like, I'm leaving, right? And as she walks out, she runs into Turtle. Ugh. She better than me. I would have kept walking. My name is not Samantha. I am not stopping for you. But she stops and she says hello, and he's like, well, why don't you join me? Are you here by yourself? Why don't you join me? So she sits down and she joins him. And that breath is bad. I mean, it's kicking. And she could not put up with it because she was like, your breath is terrible. And he tells her that it's these Chinese herbs that he's taking. And she's like, you know what? Maybe I could turn him into my little project. Child, she slept with Turtle. Not only is she sleeping with Turtle, but she's also determined to give Turtle a makeover. She's changing his clothes, she's changing his breath, she's changing his lifestyle. She wants to give him a different thing, and maybe that'll like turn him into the guy that she wants. Good luck, girl. Good luck, Charlie. So again, like I mentioned, Charlotte was exposed to the rabbit, and she has not known anything else since. She's stayed in the house. She is locked up. She ain't trying to go nowhere. She don't want to see anybody. She is like into this rabbit, and they're like, girl, you have an addiction. And she's like, no, like I like it so much. And she's just raving all about it, like, oh my God, a man can never do this. And it's like, girl, yeah, but chill. Oh, and I feel bad for Stanford, because not even Stanford can get what he wants. Honestly, it was just a Duff dating pool. What did I say? A Duff? A tough dating pool for everybody. Like, he is talking about his trials and tribulations with finding a man for himself. It's not working. But not him proposing an arranged marriage between him and Carrie. Might not be a bad idea. Let me tell you why. Because Gigi is giving him the inheritance as soon as he gets married. So he's like, let's get paid while you still can do what you want to do and I still can do what I want to do. And in this economy, that's not a terrible idea, actually. So they go over to Charlotte's house because at this point they're trying to have a rabbit intervention. But real friends, because why would you touch her rabbit without washing your hands, and like her bear rabbit? Like, that's crazy. No. So Samantha's out on another date with Turtle, and she's bored out of her mind, of course, because he's the same person. He's just in different clothes, and you know, his breath doesn't stink, but he's still the same person. And she has enough of it, and she's like, you know what, I gotta go, right? So they break up, and then he start macking on the girl that was sitting next to them the whole time. Turtle, I don't know what you want in life, but this ain't it. So Carrie finally meets Stanford's Gigi, and they actually like are trying to go along with this whole like arranged marriage. Like, she is, you know, trying to be Stanford's beard to get this inheritance, honey. And at first it looked like Gigi might be falling for it. And she is talking to her, and they're kind of like bonding over clothes and stuff like that. And then they start finding out about Gigi's life, and they looking at all these pictures and stuff. Side note, Gigi is Stanford's grandma. And so they're looking at all these like pictures and stuff like that. And Gigi asks Carrie, like, do you also want a family? Like, is this what you want to do? And Carrie's like, I do. And that kind of like made up her mind as far as Big. She wouldn't even think about Stanford. Like, this is, we are going to get to the money. And so Gigi dismissed Stanford. Gigi been knew about Stanford and a fruit, but Gigi been knew. Gigi been knew. You're never going to get that inheritance, honey. Give it up. It's not going to work. Oh, God. Now Stanford got to go back to the drawing board and actually meet somebody for him. Sad day. So lastly, we close out with Big and Carrie, and she insists on having this conversation about marriage and like why he's not into it. And he's like, in his mind, baby, I'm not having this conversation with you. I'm going to continue making this pasta, and you're going to love it, and we're having a great night. And instead of sticking to her guns and excusing herself and going on with her life, she starts making out with him. This is the beginning stage of Carrie's confusion. And that's where we at.